I did not stay up for the stream that started at 2 AM last night because I was pretty sure that there was not going to be any sudden battle system models released. What we've got is a lot of Firstborn models, but in new armour. Let's call them that. The tactical marines themselves have always had this sense of fighting in desperate times with hand-me-down armour made from lots of different marks. You can see that the sergeant has the Mark 8 errant armour, the newest kind of armour before the primaris armour, which is Mark 10, Mark 9 doesn't exist, don't worry about it. The rest of the models are mostly in the Mark 7 Aquila armour, but there's still bits of the Mark 4 armour, the Mark 5 armour, and the Mark 6 armour dotted about. They have hand-me-down armour because they don't have the resources to build more. Maybe your own Firstborn chapter has suddenly got the resources for more armour, or your delayed shipment that was lost in the warp has now arrived. Apologies from Space Amazon. So these new models are just representing the exact same Firstborn models but in new armour. No need to take the risk that the already rare Space Marine recruits might die by chucking in even more organs. We can just go as the Emperor intended, because you need to remember that primaris is no longer a key word. Everything is designated by the mark of armour. A Firstborn model in Gravis armour has the same keywords as a Primaris model in Gravis armour. The jump pack intercessors can have a sergeant with a plasma pistol, and one other model in the unit can also have a plasma pistol. Now that is pretty close to the current assault marines. They are just a straight proxy. If not, you can always join Chaos and make them raptors, then you can use your plasma guns and flamer guns and melter guns, but then you won't get a raptor lord. That is gone. So there's no solution for swapping the new assault captain into Chaos. I don't have a good solution for that. You will notice that on these assault marines there are no flying stands, just tactical rocks upon tactical rocks. That is because flying stands were tried out by Games Workshop and have been generally seen as terrible. They're awful on the Seraphim models, and on the Inceptors, I just stuck mine on the ground and forced them against the flying stand rather than trying to have this massive chunky boy balanced on the tiniest stem of a piece of plastic. And for all the talks of Space Marine Scouts going to Legends and being replaced by generic neophyte Primaris unit, much like the Black Templars have in their Crusader squads, Scouts are safe. They're still called Scouts. They exist and they very much have the same equipment as now, with similar rules like smoke and being able to leave the battlefield and come back in from strategic reserves. I am using 2 squads right now and they are doing some work. They're one of the better performing Space Marine units. There is one model in the unit that has a sniper, so I expect that Scout snipers as a unit are gone. If you have a squad of them already, 3 of them could become eliminators. My only concern with this box is if they enforce them to be a single unit of 10, because the box looks like it includes 10 models, and we know that right now Games Workshop are saying what's in the box becomes the unit. The new plastic multi-part Terminators come in a squad of 5, so we know that they are safe as a squad of 5, but there are no Assault Terminators yet. They are not going to Legends. The Stern Guard are also a multi-part kit with an updated index card that pretty much matches their previous Firstborn models. We have an option for a Heavy Flamer, but under a new name. We have the Heavy Bolter, lots of combi weapons, or regular bolters, or whatever version of bolt gun they're using, because every single kind of bolt gun has a different profile these days. And the Sergeant can have a Power Sword, Power Fist, or Chainsword, just like the Firstborn models. They may get a new set of armor, but they're still Firstborn, but then compatible with the previous models. So if you are one of those people who has an all Firstborn army, these will fit alongside them. We still have some Mark 7 helmets in there. And if you are one of those people with an all Primaris army, a chapter deliberately founded as such, that's not so unusual since the 8th edition release, these are Primaris compatible. And that's how I like to cope. That's how I like to analyze these. New mark of armor, same old Space Marine inside. There are no new Infernus Marines. Infernus models were released in the Leviathan box set, so the best way to get one of them, if not through eBay, is to go to your local Games Workshop store and ask for the free painting model. You can either get an Infernus model, or a model that could easily become a Blade Guard, or very tall Celestian Sacrosanct. It just needs a backpack. Despite all these new releases, there's going to be about 30 Space Marine units going to Legends. There are 123 current data sheets are being reduced to 93. We already know that the early Dreadnought models, bikes, attack bikes and various land speeders are going to Legends. The Primaris Company Champion along with the Company Command Squad will probably be rolled into the new Company of Heroes. But fear not, Devastators and Tactical Marines are confirmed as safe. If you are in the UK and you want to buy some of them right now, there is an affiliate link in my description for Firestorm Games. You get the models cheaper than Games Workshop, and Firestorm gives me a percentage of the sales at no additional cost to you. You get the Marines, I get some monies, it's great for both of us. So although Tactical Marines are safe, I don't think Games Workshop actually knows what a Tactical Marine is. It's Mark III Tactical Marines are coming out. They don't get any special weapon or heavy weapon in this box. This isn't quite the same oversight that the Battle Sisters box received, as there are no weapons for the regular Marines other than bolters, whereas with the Battle Sisters, if you did want a multi-melter that doesn't come in the box, but the unit can take, you could take the heavy weapon, cut off the ends, and use 2 barrels from melter guns that you're not using, put that on the Battle Sister model, and it will still end up in the same monopose, despite it being a multi-part plastic kit. Also, the skirt of this model does not go all the way around. There is a noticeable gap and it breaks the line. Here I am talking about Battle Sisters instead of Space Marines. These are the Mark III helmets, and they will fill your desire for pickle helms, since the Death Corps of Krieg are now wearing World War I French firefighter helmets instead of the early German helmets. Alongside them in 30k, Games Workshop has announced the release of, let's try and say this right, the Dreadnought in plastic. Perhaps it's best to call it the Dread-EO. I think that just sounds better and is less anime. It seems odd to suggest that this is a new plastic model, or the first time it's been in plastic. I have the first edition version with the twin heavy bolters and 2 weapon choices, but Games Workshop's current staff may just have not been playing since 2nd edition. Don't forget the vampire models. They are putting the blood into Blood Bowl, and if you would like to be a thrall of mine, there is a Ko-Fi tip jar in the description for any spare pennies you may have. We also have Fulgrim. I have talked about the Fulgrim model and the Emperor's Children release. I would like to point out that very specifically, this is not the herald of a 40k Emperor's Children release. Games Workshop wanting to end that dream before the tinfoil hats even come out. But there are even more Slaaneshi models, but for Age of Sigmar. These are part of the minigame Warhammer Underworlds, and there are 3 characters representing gluttony, wrath for not embracing the power of friendship, and the 3rd one represents the glory of the 4-armed Emperor. Perhaps a nice Locust Assassin model, so it may be worth looking into where and why the Emperor's Children haven't come out in 40k yet. My darlings and viewers, have a great day with the new Space Marine release.